Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jody Schwan at Sioux Falls Business, and very excited for a unique opportunity that we have to bring for you right now. Appropriately enough, it's Tuesday. Of course, that means it's Taco Tuesday, and I am super excited to introduce you to the CEO of Taco John's, Jim Creel. I'm going to attempt to add him to the conversation here. Good afternoon, Jim, coming to us from Wyoming, right?
Yes, Cheyenne, Wyoming. Good afternoon.
Thanks so much for being with me again, and happy Taco Tuesday to you.
Thank you.
So, talk about an interesting time for all businesses, but particularly for the restaurant industry. I'm going to just turn it over to you, first of all, to tell me what life has been like in your world, what kind of adjustments you've had to make, and just how it's all going.
It's been a tough couple of weeks from shutting down the dining rooms initially and then having all the customers go through the drive-through. We've really picked up a lot of mobile ordering, people getting on our app to order that way so they can do curbside delivery. They can get it delivered to them by any one of a number of delivery services, or they can still go through the drive-through. It's been really tough on some of our crew members as well. Some of them are losing some hours because the dining room is not open, but we're doing everything we can to make sure everybody stays employed and gets to work as much as they can.
Well, and you're in an interesting situation, not unlike many restaurants, but you're in multiple states. And the guidelines are varying state to state, and the prevalence of cases will vary state to state. Have you had to make those decisions at a franchise, at a local operator level, at least in the early stages of this? Were you always doing the same thing company wide? How did you go about tackling that?
Initially we started out trying to do everything company wide. So we closed all of our dining rooms at the same time. But now, as individual states and individual locations have their own rules going into effect, we're speaking with a lot of franchisees, trying to help them through that. How do they do it? What do they do? If they have someone who's sick, how do they treat that employee? What do they do for them? So we've had a lot going on the past couple of weeks with that.
Well, our readership, first of all, our numbers and just anecdotal experience with our readership would indicate that Sioux Falls is a Taco John's town. Sioux Falls loves Taco John's. You recently opened a new location here. Our readers were very excited about that. Do you have a sense for how things are going here in the Sioux Falls market, both how they're accommodating the business model changes and then how the customer is responding?
You bet. Sioux Falls is one of the best markets we have. Our franchisee there is probably one of the best operators in the system. They're always at the top of drive-through speed of service, so they've adapted very well. They know how to make the drive-through line move, and I think everybody in Sioux Falls probably knows Taco Ted Miller, who he's a great person and a great inspiration to his entire staff. So from that standpoint, they've done very well, and they've lost some business, obviously, as everybody has, but they've minimized that with their ability to keep things moving.
We have seen some restaurants change up the menus a little bit. Sometimes it's an abbreviated menu, sometimes it's some additional offerings. Have you done any of that? Are you considering any of that?
We are considering some of that. One of the things that we're looking at for in the very near future is the ability to sell frozen burritos and frozen potato lays that you can pick up at the drive-through and then warm them up at home later on. So we're trying to think about the families who are stuck at home, who need that bigger meal. The other thing that we'll be doing April 6th is we'll have $2 off 6-pack and a pound, trying to help that family who's home together all day have a little bit of a special treat.
Frozen potato olays. Would that be a first? Have you ever done that before?
We have not done that before. It's in test in Cheyenne right now, and it's going very well. So I hope to have it rolled out to the system soon.
Who knows if it works coming to a grocer's freezer near you? Would that?
You never know.
You never know, right? What have you guys been seeing? It's always interesting to me. You get so much data as far as what's selling, and it gives you some good consumer insights that way. Have you seen any trends? Have there been any preferred menu items here as people have been more in their homes?
Yeah, again, six pack and a pound is one that we saw trending upwards, and that's one of the reasons we're going to do $2 off on that nationwide. But the other thing we're seeing is, and I think in Sioux Falls they have 10 tacos for $10. So the bulk purchases are really what we're starting to see. Another reason that we wanted to try the frozen burritos and olays is gives people a chance to only go out of their house once and maybe pick up a couple of meals, keep in the freezer.
Yeah, absolutely. Viewers, if you have questions for Jim, CEO of Taco John's, please go ahead and write in with those. He's agreed to tackle some of your questions. And, Jim, I'm just curious about as far as the employee base goes. You said some people had seen a reduction in hours. Many businesses we're talking to are also doing some contingency planning in the event that part of the workforce gets sick. Is that something that you've been working on at Taco John's?
Yeah, yes, we have a plan for our own restaurants on how we will deal with that and how we will pay the employees. And we are sharing that with franchisees as we go along. To our knowledge at this point, we've not had a confirmed case of the COVID-19. So keeping our fingers crossed on that.
I am curious. I would describe Taco John's as a company that is still in a growth mode, at least, as of earlier this year. As I said, you opened up that additional location in Sioux Falls. I'm curious just to get a sense more from an industry perspective. Are you still thinking about that? Are you still trying to plan for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months next year down the road and looking at those potential new store openings? Or do you feel like you're not in a position to go there right now?
No, absolutely. We're still pushing ahead with new stores. Matter of fact, we've been in discussions just this week with some franchisees who are looking to do something as soon as this whole event is over. So we had about 15 new stores planned for this year. Hopefully we'll still hit that number.
Good to hear. Great. The other thing, you mentioned the drive-through service. Are you offering delivery now?
Yes, we do offer delivery.
And is that new for Taco John's, or had you already partnered with a delivery service prior to this?
We had started last year, about mid last year, so the timing was just right on that. We're trying to add more providers as we go along because not every provider is available in every town. But yeah, we have had delivery for a while now.
How's it going so far as your satisfaction with the timeliness, the quality, how the product holds up through delivery?
It's been very positive. If you think about it, the delivery is really no different than you going through the drive-through and then going to your house. So the product ends up really in pretty good shape as long as it's not too far of a drive. And most of the delivery services are very conscious of where they pick up from and where they deliver to.
I want to talk about giving back. It's obviously a very philanthropic company. Anyway, are you finding ways already in the pandemic to be giving back to the communities?
Yeah, we have. Here in Cheyenne, last week we gave $10,000 to our Friday Food Bag Foundation. And what they do is they give food to children on the weekends. So on Friday, they pick up a bag of food and their family has food for the weekend. We feel like it's important to continue that, as well as franchisees all over have been taking food to first responders primarily, but also to the elderly. We've got a franchisee with 3 or 4 locations who's giving free meals to any elderly people that come in. So I think every community is trying to give back to the extent they can right now.
Yeah, for sure. Great. Anything else that you would like to add that is standing out to you in terms of the company's response to this, or common questions that you're receiving that you'd just like to address?
The cleanliness is something that we've always taken very seriously, even more so now, obviously. You'll notice cashiers wearing gloves, and that's to protect the guest. We're doing everything we can to keep our employees safe and everything we can to keep our guests safe and coming back. So, we'll continue to monitor that as we go along. And even after this event's over, I think it's important that our guests know that cleanliness is still going to be at the top of our list.
How is your supply chain holding up, both the protective equipment, as you mentioned, the cleaning equipment, as well as the food supply?
So far, we've had no issues. Our only issue was we ran a little bit short on medium potato lay cups, but the manufacturer got those back. So right now, cleaning supplies and all food supplies are just fine.
All right. You want to go over again, if you're just joining us, you've got some special offers to look forward to coming up here soon from Taco John's. Again, Jim, what's coming?
Next week on April 6th, we'll have $2 off a 6-pack and a pound. And that's the big offer that's out there. Again, we're looking at potential for frozen burritos and frozen potato lays through the drive-through, so you can take them home and enjoy them a couple days from now.
And have you set a duration on how long you're going to offer that $2 off?
It will be for at least 6 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And then we'll follow that up with another offer. So.
Okay. And you do online ordering? You have an app? You encourage people to use those?
Yes, you can go to tacojohns.com, order online, or you can download the app and order that way.
All right, terrific. Well, thanks so much for joining us. Anything else that you'd like to add here before I let you go?
No, just thank you to all of our wonderful guests who keep coming back, keep coming to see us. The drive-thru is open, and we hope to see you in the dining room soon.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks again. Have a great rest of your day. Appreciate you joining us.
Thank you.